3 weeks from diagnosis of scoliosis, we were in an operating room having brain surgery. And she was already a runner at that point, so we were sort of afraid, okay, like, how is this going to affect her? Because she loved it. Running helped save her. She knew that you didn't have to wear the brace when you were exercising. So if she was running, it was just like she was still building those muscles in her core.
So I started running when I was 7 years old. It was more of a hobby for a long time. Used to run with my mom and all that kind of stuff, all the road races.
I feel like at every turn of her growing up, there's been something that she's had to overcome, some sort of adversity, and she's always done it with a smile on her face. When she was 9, we were at a routine pediatrician appointment, and my oldest son was getting screened for scoliosis because he was going to middle school, and my younger one, he jumped up, wanted to be screened too, and so Effie did as well. We were like, oh, Effie, you have to stand up straight, like, don't be silly, and Effie was like, I am standing up straight. So she had 2 curves in her spine. 3 weeks from diagnosis of scoliosis, we were in an operating room having brain surgery, and she was already a runner at that point, so we were sort of afraid, okay, like, how is this going to affect her? Because she loved it. 4 weeks after she had brain surgery, she was, he told her she could go on an easy run, and she went out and ran like a 8.5-minute mile. I remember it freezing outside, and she was just so happy to be back out there running. After surgery, having to learn to wear that brace was the hardest part, even more than brain surgery, because you have to wear it when you're sleeping, when you get up, underneath your clothes to go to school. But she handled it well. She'd go to school and show and tell. She'd take her brace off and show it to the kids at school, just including not being ashamed of it. A little over a year ago, her orthopedic told her, you're clear, like, you're not gonna have to have surgery. You've beat this. I think running helped save her. She knew that you didn't have to wear the brace when you were exercising. So if she was running, it was just like she was still building those muscles in her core.
Running is a sport that's super rewarding. Like, it's whatever you put into it, you're gonna get out of it. So I do all the distance events in track. I do the 3,200, the 1,600, the 800, the 4x8. Sometimes they put me in a 4x4 or 400s. My favorite is probably the 3,200 because you have time to just hunt people and get after it.
Effie Ward is all about the team. She knows that if she has a good, strong team, that her individual performance will be where we set her goals at.
It's been great coaching Effie, being a part of her journey, seeing her work every single day. She does everything right. She does every rep. She doesn't skip a day. And to be an elite athlete like she is, you have to have those characteristics, not taking days off, doing everything your coach asks you of.
I really let the athlete perform, and then we figure out what's good for her. So for Effie, she is so persistent when it comes to prescribing workouts. Like, she does absolutely everything I tell her to do.
So like ice baths, Normatec, rolling, scraping, all those kind of things are very important. I know when I do those extra things that nobody else is doing, it's gonna show out on the course.
That is what really makes her a great distance runner, because it takes a lot of discipline to get all those miles and then still to do the stuff to recover and be able to come back the next day.
I didn't have this kind of motivation when I was a freshman in high school. I didn't know how to be mentally tough. I got overwhelmed very easily. It just comes more as you compete. But I think a lot of my strength comes from the Lord. It's hard, but it's all worth it. Every bit of it's worth it. All the stress, all the anxiety, it's worth that time where you cross the finish line and you realize it's all paid off.
Having a strong distance program here, having Effie and the rest of the team lead that has been phenomenal. We finished second last year in 5A at state. Effie was the first female track athlete here at Harris County High School to win a state championship in track and field. She won the 1600 and the 3200.
I got second in the 800, and my 4x8 team placed second in the 800 as well. After that, I went to go see my family, and everybody was crying. It was just like a really big deal, because it was like, this is what I've been training for, and here it is. It's all paying off.
Both cross country and track perfectly complements each other. So like in the fall, think of it as strength training for runners. And then track is like, the cutting phase, if you had, so to speak.
My sophomore year, I got third at state.
She was about 15 seconds behind the leader. And being a sophomore, going up against a senior and a junior, Effie did very well for the expectation for that state championship.
But to me, I really wanted to get first. So that's the goal for this year.
So we just went to the Nike Nationals this summer for the 3200, and Effie's ranked in the top 50 in the nation. Her natural progression, we're talking she could easily be in the top 30 in the nation, which gets some D1 schools to start looking at her, and definitely the D2 schools will be hunting, asking her to see if she wants to come be part of their program.
I would love one day to go run in the Olympics. I'd love to go pro if that's what God has planned for me. I'd love to run in college. That's the first step, first dream, for sure.
You know that her times, look good for her to be able to go somewhere.
So I'm talking to several different colleges, visiting colleges right now. We've just started their recruitment process.
She had a phone conversation last night with another Division I school, and it's nice, for her to get those calls, but she didn't take it for granted. She's very appreciative, very humble about it. She would tell you she wants to go somewhere where she's going to be challenged. We had somebody at a road race a few months ago say, "Oh, you should go to, a D3 school. You could be the best runner, their top runner there." And without any hesitation whatsoever, she said, "I don't want to be the best runner where I go. I want to have somebody that I can look up to and that'll challenge me to be so much better than I could be if I was the fastest runner somewhere else."
My work is finally paying off, and I'm getting to talk to all these coaches, get their advice, and it's all falling into place.
Even with a diagnosis, you can continue to make strides in the things that you want to do. I do think that this helps her be a spokesperson for scoliosis, to show people that, other kids, they can still be active, they can still do things, and they can overcome it and get on the other side of it.